Today we're doing a market watch for 5 NFL players for Dynasty Fantasy Football. Here we do not believe in buy, sells, holds specifically for a player because things are different from league to league and depending on how you play. If you play portfolio style and you have like 50 leagues, then you got a little bit of everybody, and it really depends on how you want to manipulate your shares. If you have certain guys you want, certain guys that do not get sold in trades in your league, then it's not even possible. So we're just going to go over the values, we're going to go over the players, we're going to go over advanced metrics. But before we do all that, you need to click that subscribe button right now because I'm going to help you build your Dynasty team. We're going to cover these players, we're going to cover the advanced metrics, and you need to know about these players so you can make the smart move. So the first player we're talking about today, CJ Stroud, ranked as the QB5 in ADP, 4.75 ADP in Superflex, 56.33 in 1 QB, depending on what you play and your preference. I play everything, so I do everything. But what I like about him is he's a deep ball dandy. Throws it deep downfield, he's accurate downfield, and they let him cook. That was the big question going into the 2023 season. Is he going to be able to be allowed to cook or not? They allowed him to cook, and it was very suspect going into his rookie season because look at that Texans team in 2022. Did you really think they were going to let a rookie cook? Did you really feel like that? But they took the chains off. They let him cook. It was marvelous. Now we have Stephon Diggs. He's rated as the QB5. In trades, almost impossible to trade for. Almost impossible. In Superflex, you're not really dealing him away unless you really have to. But the value is immense. It's up there. He was productive. You look over at his chart here in ADP value over at dynastyleaguefootball.com, and it is staying the same. Not really getting any dips there. One of the top players in Dynasty right now in Superflex. 1 QB, the value's up there. There you can money ball it a little bit if you want to make some deals since it's 1 QB. Really depends on the style of your league. If you got quarterbacks that you can pick up on the regular off the waivers and you can manipulate that in season, then maybe you need to get a deal done to patch something up. But he's a young quarterback that's on a team that's building around him. Things are looking very good. He's on that rookie contract, already proven to be productive. And what I like about him is he throws the ball downfield with accuracy. We're getting 300 air yards a game. Deep ball city with him. 73.6% of the balls thrown are catchable. We're getting a good volume of passing attempts. Volume, workload-wise, everything's there. 4,100 yards as a rookie. I can't really say much more because everybody likes him in general, so it's not really a sell. But the reason why, deep ball specialist, accurate downfield, specialist, that was kind of off. Throws the deep ball, he's accurate with it, and that is transcendent for fantasy production. Next player, Sam Laporta. I just really wanted to talk about him. I was looking at the list of ADP, and I was like, I want to talk about Sam Laporta today. We're going to talk about Sam Laporta today, and I loved him coming out of the draft last year. What I loved about him most was the cost. The second-round draft pick. You can play money ball with what was on the board there. You had some running backs. You had him. The other tight ends, they were a little bit more expensive. And then there was Sam Laporta, and you can catch him at a good value. The running backs were about tapped out there. The wide receivers were about tapped out there. Sam Laporta had an amazing rookie season. 20% target share, 7.1 targets per game. Ran a lot of routes, getting a lot of opportunity, and that was in year 1. We should see that hold steady, if not increase going forward. Should be a key cog in the passing offense for a long time. Should see him hold value. He's expensive, but I think you want a young tight end in your lineup there that you can just hold forever, and that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody's looking for in these drafts. That's why people are spending a first-round pick on Brock Bowers and not thinking twice on it. You got Sam Laporta here at ADP 20, getting a 20% target share. That's with Amon-Ra St. Brown there, soaking up 25 to 30% of the targets every week. He's getting a lot of tight end 1 weeks out there. Very few games where he's busting on you. That being said, he's a tight end that everybody wants, you're not going to flip him on the market. If you got him, you're holding, unless you're in big trouble. If you're in big trouble, then sell. But he's young. He's going to be productive, even if he's got down years. He's got years to make up for that. You're just holding. If you're buying, he's going to be expensive. If you can catch him a lot cheaper than ADP 20, if you can catch him at the latter half of the first round in rookie drafts, like a 110, 111, if you can catch him for that, you slam that button. It's not happening, though. It's not happening. It shouldn't happen. But I'm not selling him. I don't know if anybody really is. I think I'm holding with a vice grip, with the grip of God, that Sam Laporta is going to stay on my team for a long time. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver 35, ADP 66.67. And the production wasn't really there. And you know what? Wasn't really productive throughout his career anyways. Well, he's got like 1,000 or 2,000 yard seasons on his career. And it was that big 2021 season. So we're really living off that, honestly. That magical 2021 year, the Cooper Kupp year, honestly. And it's not like you can say, well, injuries this, injuries that. We haven't had many healthy seasons out of him. 8 targets a game, almost a 26% target share, 65.8 air yards a game, almost a 30% share of those air yards. So we're getting some volume. We need deeper targets. That's not in his profile, though. He runs a lot of routes out of the slot. We're also not getting any younger. As you notice, we're going to be like 31 years old. Cooper Kupp is an asset on the decline. No one's looking to buy him, but people may accidentally buy him in much larger trades, which is okay with me if you catch him on the cheap, because he can be productive at times. But things are slowing down. Things are winding down on Cooper Kupp. He was too high in ADP a year, 2 years ago. He was just way too high. Things are correcting, but it's still too slow. You can't sell him now. There's no more value. The time to sell was a long time ago. If you can get something for him, great. If there's a time to pivot and move on to draft capital, it might be now, just to do it, just to wash your hands. If you're competing and you need him for depth at wide receiver, then cool, try to win that money. But maybe this is time to funnel him up into draft picks and just look for the future. Use those picks to move around more, catch you something younger, or catch you a player in season to use as production. He's not really reliable right now due to the injury status, due to what we're seeing, but he can be productive on the top end. You just have to look at him as a speculative asset at this point. And can you handle a speculative asset on your roster right now? An asset that is volatile, because he'll give you those low-end weeks, he'll give you those top-end weeks. That's what we're seeing here. He showed you that over time, too. That's his prospect profile. That is what he is. He's a volatile wide receiver when it comes to week-to-week production. Cooper Kupp, do you want that for an aging veteran? Where are you at with him? Christian Watson, the thing about him is he's getting forgotten about, and he was not productive last year. And the thing about him, again, injuries have been impacting him big time. Was very productive in the back half of 2022, 2023, forgotten about. They've added more wide receivers to this team. They got a lot of talent at the wide receiver spot, a lot of young, talented wide receivers to work with here. ADP, we're starting to see a dip. How much more will he dip? He'll dip a little bit more over the summer, I bet. I bet you we'll catch him around wide receiver 40 price tag in ADP. The goal is to shoot for cheaper than that. If you can catch him around wide receiver 45 on the market, which might run hot here during rookie draft season on the board. What I like about him and what I'm forecasting with him as a volatile option, due to the air yards still, 90.8 air yards per game, we're getting deep targets. We're getting YOLO balls. Bring in a couple of those in a game, you got splash production. I like that. We had 3 games of over 100 air yards last year. We cashed in on one of those. That sounds right. That sounds okay. Great for best ball. I think he's best valued for best ball. But on the back end of your roster, or on your roster with a slew of wide receivers, and you got him valued as a speculative play from week to week due to deep ball city. Another thing too, You could use him as a package up piece with other wide receivers, considering he's still holding some value, because that could change or hover up and down over the next 12 months to package up to get you a better wide receiver to consolidate. If you're looking to consolidate and move up to a better wide receiver, he'd be one of the wide receivers I'm looking at, because there is volatility with him due to the injury history, due to the up and down nature of what we could be seeing with this offense due to the competition for targets. But another thing you want to look at on the flip side of that, deep ball city, volatile option due to that. And if the targets start ramping up from 6 to like 8 a game, then you're going to see him be more productive, because we are seeing a 32.2% share of the air yards, 90 air yards per game. Depends on how cheap you can catch him. If you can catch him 40 plus wide receiver value in drafts, then you may want to slam that pick. If you got him on your roster, you need to consolidate, you're starting to get a list of wide receivers, he might be one of the guys you're looking at, and you might be just filling trades and offers to see if you can package 3 wide receivers for 1, 2 wide receivers and a running back to move up for a better wide receiver, whatever you can do. He might be one of those wide receivers you're working with. This is why I say players aren't buy, sells, or trades straight up, because I'm giving you all the angles on the same player, because I don't look at these guys as a fanboy. I just look at them as a chess piece for Dynasty. But we're moving on to our last player today, Zamir White. RB20 still in ADP, even though we added Alexander Mattison. He has been trending up. The market is hot for him. He's a running back. We look at running backs in 1-year windows. So really, when you think about it from that standpoint, he should be getting a lot of workload, but he's still a running back. His value's still up there. I would kick the tires, see what I get in return, and if I like it, I roll with it. If not, then I know I got a running back who could be, should be, more than likely, should be getting good opportunity on his team, getting a good opportunity share. That opportunity share should be ramping up with Jacobs out. Alexander Mattison is not Josh Jacobs. Zamir White should be getting the opportunity first. I think Zamir White is a better running back right now in this stage of the game. Better size adjusted athleticism. The target share is a concern. 3.4% of the targets, 1.1 target per game. Pretty much not even there in the passing game. So he's not really buoyed in the passing production. So we're relying on touchdowns, which should ramp up in positive regression, and then also just getting a lot of work. That size adjusted athleticism, the long gains. But considering we're seeing him at RB20 price tag right now, even with Alexander Mattison there, we're seeing the candlesticks move up, or the chart move up here for Dynasty ADP. This is a player you may want to look at on the market to see if you can offload. If not, just enjoy the production. Understand you got short windows with these running backs. See what happens. Again, I would look for the market to change to buy in. He's kind of up there now. The time to buy was when ADP was a lot lower in season last year. When you see him hovering on the depth chart, when there was a little risk to it. There's got to be some risk, or there's nothing going to be coming to you in return. You just can't buy or sell in the know. That's just not how things work in life, especially in a game like this. You buy the rumor, you sell the fact here. We do know ADP is up for him. You might be able to deal him at a better cost if you need to. If you like him, keep him, because he's going to be getting some touches, some opportunity, and can be productive. He could be a hitter this year. He could give you 20 points per game this year, 15 points per game this year, 12 points per game this year, and you're happy about it. He's sitting on your roster for over a year or so, and you're like, hey, I've been holding him this whole time, and now I'm getting production. I'm not going to give him away. If you feel like this and you know you're only going to get a year or two of production, cool, roll with it. I don't see him getting heavily impacted by the draft anyways. Alexander Madison's there, so how many running backs they're going to pick up? And if they do, where are they going to do it? They're not going to spend up for it because they picked up Alexander Mattison. But they could. But this is also a lackluster running back class. But those are 5 players we're looking at. We're looking at the market. We're looking at the trade angles of these players. Because you can buy them. You can sell them. You can pick them up. You can hold them. Whatever. It really depends on what's going on in your league. And you're in leagues that maybe people don't trade Raiders. Maybe people don't trade running backs, and if they do, you got to pay up for them. Or there's no trades at all. Or I've been in leagues where trades are just crazy and they just trade just the trade. And it really depends on your scenario. So I'm really going to give you every face I can find on a player to let you know on how to work that player in your league, just to give you ideas. Just to give you some ideas to help you out, because that's my job. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.